Okay, so just a side note, we're here at Fantini's. We loved their pizza. It was amazing, and like I said, we're going to be coming back for the meatball review. Stay tuned for that. If it's anything as good as their pizza is, we're going to blow my socks off, folks. So we have Sarah here from Fantini's, and Sarah's going to tell us about this Foxen Park White Birch, which is the perfect drink. I mean, you would think a Peroni or a Moretti Italian beer would be the perfect beverage to go along with your pizza. But if you're not an alcohol drinker, this is really, really special. Tell us about it.
Okay, so the Foxen Park brand started right around the same time as Frank Pepe started. And so they grew their businesses together. Now, the white birch is a very special flavor. It's similar in notes to a root beer, but with a licorice, like a black licorice infusion.
Thank you, Sarah. So this is really good. If you come here, which I really hope you do, folks, I drove an hour and a half to get here, and I usually say in my reviews, you could tell if it's a good pizza based on how far somebody would drive. Now, a lot of my places, I'll say half hour, 15 to 20 minutes. I would literally drive a few hours to get this pizza. Now I'm addicted. It's a real problem because I have to drive all the way up here to have Jim's Pizza. And Jim, you better open a place close to me there because I'm not happy if you don't open up near me. So this is Jimmy Fantin. He is the owner of Fantini's New Haven style pizza. Jim, welcome. You received a score of a 9.5 on your New Haven cheese slice, a 9.1 was it, Sharon? On the clam, I believe it was. I'm not a big fan of seafood on fish mixed with cheese. I had it at Sally's, at Modern, and at Pepe's. I didn't like them there, but I loved it here. So even to be in the 9s on something that I'm not a big fan about is crazy. I know Portnoy gave you an 8.1. I disagree with him vehemently. Maybe he was having a bad day. I have a lot of respect for the guy, but this is by far the highest score I've ever given anyone, whether in Florida or in New York, a 9.5. Tell us about yourself. How did you get started in the pizza business?
Well, first of all, thank you. I just found out the score you just told me, so
welcome. You deserve it.
I'm flattered. I've got goosebumps.
You deserve it.
And when you mention me in the same sentence as a Pepe's or a Sally's in New Haven, that's just good enough for me. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I started as a dishwasher at Frank Pepe's. When I was in high school, I answered an ad. I went there, got the job as a dishwasher, started there, and worked my way up. Little by little, they don't just put anybody on the bench at Pepe's. You know, you have to really earn your position there. And I was able to do it at a very young age. And thank you to the managers and the family members that recognized that I had it. When
you say on the bench, for the people who don't really understand what that means, can you tell us what it means to be put on the bench?
Putting on the bench means you're the actual pizza man. You're banging out the dough. You're putting it on there. You're directing what's being put on there. You're throwing it in the oven. You're placing it in the oven, and then it goes off to the next guy who's going to work the oven. I worked all the positions: dishwasher, table man, which means that the pizzas come out of the oven. You cut them, you box them, and then you learn how they look and what they're supposed to be, what they're called. Then they move you over to the oven. You work the oven. Now the oven, Frank Pepe's oven, the sticks are 14 feet long.
Wow.
The oven's over 900 degrees, coal fired. It's never the same. It's got a temperament to it. So you learn how to bake a pizza the real way. That's the old-fashioned way. After you do that about 1,000,000 times, then you go over to decorating, which is the other side. You have the pizza man, the pie man that's banging out the dough. He would put the dough on the board, and he would say, make that a mozzarella sausage. And then you go and decorate the top of the pizza. He would check it out, then he would throw it in the oven. And then, if you're lucky enough, they move you over to the other side, and that's when you're the official pie man. You're official pie man.
The pie man is the one who is managing it in the oven?
No, that's the one who's banging out the dough, placing it on the board, directing what goes on it, finalizing how it looks, and then putting it in the oven.
Okay.
Because that's one of the most difficult things. It's launching the pizza off the board.
The peel, yeah.
With a 14-foot stick.
Wow.
And a 14 feet away. You know, a lot of things can happen.
That's a skill. Is it
Yes.
the same person that takes it out?
No, there's another oven man that would work that.
Wow,
So,
what
yeah.
a very interesting science to it. It's like a science that you have.
Well, what I didn't know is I was learning a master trade, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I was learning a master trade.
Wow.
I was able to take those skills and go all around. and work at all different restaurants. And that's where I picked up my food. The meatballs, our dishes here. Everything that's here is a reflection of a place that I worked at or a place that I went to in New Haven or New Haven area, and I duplicated it here because they were so good. And luckily enough, the people here are really enjoying what we have.
Well, the pizza was amazing. Let me ask you a question now. A lot of people say that, well, when you can't find good pizza in Florida, it's the water, it's the water. What are you doing about the water? How are you able to achieve that crust that was so amazing that I tasted outside? Are you importing your water? What are you doing?
Frank, there's certain things that I can't say, but I'm going to give you my standard answer, okay? If I gave you Tiger Woods' golf clubs, would you be able to win 3 Masters tournaments?
No, and that's my point.
So my question to you then would be, is it the clubs or is it the guy?
Interesting.
Well,
great answer, man. I can't come back to that.
So then my follow-up with that is that if you love Maya Beats, my name is Fantini. It's on the box, it's on the door.
Right.
If you hate Maya Beats, it's the water. What the fuck you want from me?
Great answer.
Get it?
I love it. I love it. Now, you mentioned that at where you worked at Frank Pepe's, it was a coal-fired oven. I noticed that you do not use a coal-fired oven. This is a conventional gas oven?
This is a conventional gas oven.
Now, the texture of your pizza, the char, that would have said to me, if I didn't look back in the kitchen, would have said to me that is a coal-fired or at best a wood-fired oven or a combination of the two.
Yeah.
There are a couple of different ways, folks, that they can do it. You can do an electric oven. You can do a coal-fired oven. You can do a wood-fired oven. You can do a gas oven. You can do a combination gas-wood. You can do a combination wood-coal. There are so many different versions of how you can cook the pizza. Now, what he's done here, which I guess he's not going to tell me after that Tiger Woods story, is he made a coal-fired looking and tasting pizza out of a gas oven. I can't figure out. I know pizza, and I was born and raised in an Italian household, and I've seen it done many different ways. I can't figure out for the life of me, unless you augmented that oven, unless you changed that oven, how you've done that.
Well, I would just say that there's magic in there.
There's magic
in there.
You've done something to that oven. I know you've done something to it, because there's no way you accomplished that on your own. So you went from Frank Pepe's to many different other restaurants up in New Haven, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And then what brought you down here?
Okay, so the story on top of all that is I went to college after I worked there. So I worked in these restaurants when I was in college, and then I got a degree in business management and finance, a minor in finance. I went to work for banking and finance. So I worked in different restaurants a little bit at a time till I didn't have to work 2 jobs anymore. And then I came down to Florida 26 years ago, and I started a mortgage company because I was working for a bank at the time up there. I started a mortgage company, lived here for 26 years, and back in 2019, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to open a restaurant, and that's how this came to be. The only thing I didn't know was COVID was going to happen, but I opened up in February, and March 17th, COVID hit, and it took us another year for people to know that we were here. But we weathered that storm, and it's been nothing but uphill success.
Now, how did you weather the COVID storm? Was it still producing pizzas and delivering, or?
Yeah, business was not big at all, but the thing is, when you open up a business, you capitalize, right, for not to make any profit for the first year or 2.
6 months,
so
yeah.
I was well capitalized when I started.
Okay.
That's how I got through it. I did some radio advertising, had some great commercials out there, and people started, and word of mouth was the biggest thing. Just to notice, see these names on these tables?
Yes.
Okay? These are people that came to me every week, once or twice a week, and supported me during that time. So I honored them by putting their name on a table.
What a great story. Amazing.
And people today want to get their name on a table, and I say no, respectfully, because these are the people that were here, and I would do them a disservice if I added anybody else's name. And people have offered me $1,000 to do it, and I just
really
I won't do it. I won't do it because these are the people that were here every single week, sometimes twice a week. So I thank them.
You got a little bit of like a Rayo's story. I don't know if you folks are familiar with Rayo's in New York, where the celebrities have and very, very influential people have their own table there, and they can't even give it away without the permission of the owner. So you're kind of going along that style here.
Well, again, to mention
With
me,
the names.
mention me in a
Yeah.
sentence with Rayos.
Rayos,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. As a matter of fact, I'm lucky enough to be going there in September.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm, yes.
Who did you know to get
I
in?
can't say I'm
Okay.
but
This guy's full of secrets, folks. This guy is full of secrets. But one thing he's not full of is, you know what? Because his pizza is really authentic, and it's really amazing. I don't know how you did it. No, I don't give anybody a score. The best one I gave was in New York on Long Island, was a 9.2, a place that I've been going to since I was a child, and I really love their pizza. It's a New York style, but this was just out of this world, fantastic, and it's such an honor to meet you, and I want to thank you very much for your time, and thank you for making such a great pizza. Folks, you got to come here. I don't care what you do, get in your car, drive here. If it's 2 or 3 hours, I promise you, I give you my word, it will be worth the drive. You'll sit here and you'll eat, and you will be amazed at how almost identical. I would venture to say that I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a Sally's or a Pepe's or a Modern. Maybe the size, maybe the fact that they were round, and Sally's and Pepe's are kind of like oblong and racetrack style and different shapes, but that would be the only thing that would make me question whether or not it's a Sally's or a Pepe's. So thanks, folks. We need you to keep subscribing and hit that like button, hit the bell. It'll remind you each and every time that I have a new video out. I'm going to try to find a place that can top this place, but it's going to be difficult. So make sure you come back and tune in to see the meatball review. Jim, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck to you.
All right.